Welcome everybody to another episode of Meet Me in Napa. Your host here, Jeremy Jackson. I'm excited to have this guest who is in front of me right now, man. Bay Area's own. He's turning into a living legend. You're kind of a living legend right now, man. You're doing some major work. I mean, if you see who's on the camera, you already know who he is. But LaRussell's in the house, man. How you doing, man?
I'm well.
You well?
I'm well. Yes, sir.
You doing more than well? You just well, man. How you doing, man?
Both of them. It depends on the day.
Yeah, I feel it. It be like that. Some days I get up, my back is killing me, or something else, or one of my kids call me because they need some money. Just start the day off all toe up. You know
Hilarious.
what I mean? Nah, man. But how you doing? I mean, not just how you doing, but like, I really want to get into a conversation about, we know who you are. We know what you've done with the backyard shows, your music, your independence. You've laid a new foundation of already that Bay Area independence hustle, right? You're the new foundation for this digital era, right? But we kind of know that story. Today, I really want to talk about LaRussell. Just like you and what goes on. I know you're very introspective with your music. We can put on your music and hear a lot, but I think sometimes to hear it in a conversation kind of comes out more in depth than it is when you're trying to rhyme it on a song. I think at times, I don't know if you agree with that, but so yeah, man, just today I want to really just talk about, really what you've been through. You've had probably one of the best runs in the last year. Of all of hip hop, major, independent.
Come on.
And now, there's many challenges. You have really high highs and you had a few lows. And so, I just want to kind of get into those few things. But one of the first things I would say is, the identity. Like, who is LaRussell from a year ago to who you are today? Like, all of your experience, how much has that changed you?
I feel like I grow in dog years.
Life's moving fast, huh?
Yeah. A year ago is dramatically different, and in a lot of places, I'm always gaining insight with everything that occurs in my life. I'm like really analytical. Like I can look at something and pick all the things I need to pick from it, where I need to improve and change, or where I'm right or where I'm wrong. So I'm miles ahead of where I was last year. But it's also like you also lose a part of that when you grow that fast. Like you almost lose your doughy-eyedness, everything about life and the game and music that once was like this, and now your eyes get back to normal and it's like,
Give me one example of that. Like, what do you mean by that? Like, what was really big in your eyes, doughy eye, before that? Now it's more like it's not what you thought it was.
People, the culture. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. It's understanding what you're working with. Sometimes you could, like, I've been an underdog my whole life, or I've been a hero. And that gives you a certain perspective, right? Until you're the villain to someone, and then you realize like how fickle support could be in a way, right? Like especially when someone like me, like I've grown millions within a year, like across the board, not just social media, but like in real life.
Right.
I've grown millions, and out of that millions, there's 10%. That like 90% of that million is people who are just like, I just want to watch and witness what's going on. I want to see. I don't know if I really like it or not. I'm just nosy. 10% is like, I rock with this. I want to see where it goes. And 1% is like, I'm here for the rest of my life. It don't matter what it is. I love this person, right? And when you the 90% is generally the loudest. The 1% is the most supportive, but the 90% is the loudest. When you walk in the room, like that's the noise you hear. So now getting to a point where it's like understanding that and not and not being jaded by like, oh, there's a million people out here for me. It's like, well, everybody's not for you. It's just a million people.
There's just
out
a million
here.
people here. Yeah. That's a trip. Yeah. So you felt like, before you felt like people were for you?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was like a false perception,
yeah,
maybe.
right.
Yeah.
And it's just a jaded way of thinking of like, man, everybody here want what's best for me. Everybody here is rooting for me, and that's not real. It's like a basketball game. You know, every nigga in the stand, every person in the stand. Can I cuss on here?
You can cuss on here, man.
Every
It's all
nigga
good.
in the stands ain't cheering for you.
Yeah.
Some of them booing for you, but when the noise mix, you can't really tell. It's just a loud roar. You feel me?
I like that. I like that. So, with that being said, is that change that you just explained, is that gonna show up in your writing and the new songs that you're making, and like how is that changing with your raps and your lyrics and how you even present yourself?
It definitely shows up in all of the newer stuff, and not just the music, the shows, everything I do, because it's a part of life. You know, music for me is really a depiction of my life. Like earlier you were saying, like, you know, sometimes when you talk about something, it's a bit more in depth than when you write about it. But for me, it's the opposite. I'm able to say things in my writing that I won't say in general conversation, you know, because it lands different in the writing. And in the writing, it's like, the writing is just between me and me. The convo is between me and you. So it's naturally a different wall there.
Right. Yeah, and people receive art differently than they do in real life conversation,
For
right?
sure, for sure.
Like everybody on hip hop, they killing everybody on songs, and then it's like, nah, that's art. Yeah,
man. And that's the thing with art. It's so dangerous because you could say something in your art that you would never say in regular conversation, and same vice versa on the positive end. You know, you can inspire somebody in a way you can't generally, but you could also the negative, the amount of negative that you could put into art and get past someone is crazy.
Yeah. No, it's true. I even on podcasts, you know, I listen to a lot of podcasts. Well, I don't say a lot, but there's a few that I listen to, and you know, sometimes they be reckless, right? But they say, "Oh no, it's just it's content, it's COE, right?" So it's like you have this little wall of wiggle room to say things or do things that you don't get in real life, right? I remember I was listening to Obama was on a podcast recently, and he was talking about the current administration. He said, "Man, that dude don't talk to me when he's in front of me like that."
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like he do all that barking on TV. He's like, "That's just, but in real life, he don't talk to me like that. He know what's up."
And that's the case with all this shit.
Yeah,
that's the case with all this shit, and that's something we learn. You know, like not taking who someone is online for who they is in real life or how they feel in real life. You know, like when I've had moments of just like public scrutiny and outrage and people commenting and talking, you know, as some people I call. It's like, you know me. You online with, but you know me. And and it's never that. You feel me?
Yeah.
And that's the craziest part. It's like people just whatever figure they can be online is the figure in the role that they will take, but it's never that in person. That's why it's so important to protect like our authentic figures, who the same person you see online, the same person you see in person, because it's seldom you encounter those. Because they can be whoever they want to be through a screen, you know.
So are you a man of faith? Like, is there any kind of spiritual guidance that like you lead within
definitely
life? Like,
spiritual, but
and I don't mean the religion and all. I'm just, you know, whatever it might be. I mean, but
no,
you know.
I just when I hear faith, I think there's so many different things that faith mean, and like I don't.
How do you interpret it? What's that for you?
It depends on who's using it, right? Because to some people, I hear them use faith, and they look at faith as like something outside of themselves. You know, so it's like I have faith that this is gonna happen. I don't really have it in that way because I'm a doer. So like I don't have faith that anything's gonna happen that I'm not working towards happening.
Right.
You know, like I don't believe things are just gonna manifest itself for me in my life. And I know some people when they say faith, they're like, "Well, I have faith in this thing," and I don't really have that. But
in an entity or an object or something, or
you know, but
ideology.
I have a lot of faith in manifesting things that I believe I can do and that I set forth to do.
Right. When you were starting on this journey, like how much, because before you had the things and the success, you really only are dealing on I'm working towards this. You don't have none of it yet, right? So how was your faith shaped you then, and what is your faith like at this stage of your, you know, in your life?
Early on, faith didn't really shape me.
Okay.
Like I was saying, I didn't really believe in anything outside of myself.
Okay.
I didn't get the belief that I could do all this until I started doing it. There was never a part of me that was just like, I'm gonna just be famous and success. Like, that was something that came to me as I started getting good and I started working. I really honed my craft, and it gave me the belief that I can do it. And then I started throwing shows, and it was like, oh, I could do more.
Yeah.
All of my faith came from me doing
Yeah.
so much that it allowed me to believe it was possible and tangible. But I never had like a blind faith in this.
Yeah, yeah. I have to ask that question. Like, I grew up, super religious, and it wasn't until I broke away from the structure of religion that I started to understand what faith really was, and even having a belief system. It's the same with what I'm building now. I saw something. I knew I had a gift. I could do it. I don't, I didn't know you were gonna be sitting here a year from when I'm in year one.
Yeah.
I'm in year two, but I had no thought, oh, LaRussell's gonna be sitting across from me in 12 months. I just started to do the work.
Exactly.
And it's the same thing. As soon as I started doing it, it's the people who come up to you, speak to you. It's the private conversations. It's some of the people that are like really high up and say, hey, I see you. You know what I mean? Like, you start getting phone calls and messages. You're hearing things like that let you know, okay, I'm doing the right thing. And it had nothing to do about praying about it or trying to, like you say, manifesting or conjuring up in my head. Once I did it,
Yep.
that's when all the relationships in the world and things started opening up to me.
And that's really the way. That's
Yeah.
really the way. Like, we get so many inquiries, and sometimes we'll ask people, like, how many episodes have you done? Like, how far are you in on it? And some are like, episode 1, we want you to be our first guest. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
Because there is an amount of work and doing that has to go into it first.
Yeah, it's like the one hit wonder thing. You don't really want your first song to be the biggest hit.
You
Want a hit, but do you really want your first? Because a lot of artists I see, especially in music, it's like they knock it out the box and then they're always trying to live up to that big hit. It's almost better to maybe have some work, have a fam, and then hit something. I don't know. It just seems like it works differently.
That I think whenever you get a hit, you got it's so hard to get
Get
one.
the hit,
So
get the hit, yeah.
in whatever lane, that's the thing. We have like expectation of ourselves that we can't really have to be creative. Like, just because you did something excellent once don't mean that you'll be able to conjure all of the things that happen to make that happen again. The goal is just to keep going and keep trying, but you may not get that moment again. But if you work hard enough, you probably will,
Yeah. Like Michael Jackson didn't produce 2 Thrillers. You know what I mean? He had some great stuff afterward, but you know what I mean? He still made great music. I'm not trying to, but I'm just saying, like, there was only one Thriller, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. You said something and I just want to ask, you said people ask you about podcasts and you're like, no. Like, what made you say yes to come here today? Like, why here? Why meet me in Napa?
T vetted this one for me.
Okay.
So that would be a better question for her. In this next phase of like what I'm doing, I'm allowing everybody to do what I trust them to do and put me in the places that I need to be in. So that would be a better question for her, because right now I'm more hands off of it.
Okay. Speaking of trusting, I remember you had a huge viral moment recently, and you led about the comments in the song on stage. And you led, the one thing that stuck out to me was that you said, my producer told me don't do it. And you did it anyway. How is that? First, tell me what that moment was like for you, from saying that, making the decision, and then all the fallout afterwards. What was that like for you?
It was really funny because my engineer had texted me. He mixed the song. And he's like, man, I don't know if you want to put this one out.
Yeah.
And I called him. And I was like, why? He's like, well, it's just a big deal in the world right now. And there's a lot going on. And I laughed and I was like, oh, that means it needs to be out then. Because that's what we make. We make life rap about the world. I said, if you listen to this song and it made you uncomfortable out of everything I said in this song, then it needs to be out because it's reality. I could release a spin that. I could release something that, not no knock, but I could release something that doesn't have any substance, that just make you feel good. But this is real life. Like, this is what's going on in the world. And to be like, maybe you shouldn't talk about what's going on in the world right now. To me, it's like, opposite of everything that I've built for myself and what I'm here for. I'm not here for that. I may do that little dance. I made 20 shots. You know, like my list of records that mean something is far longer than the opposite. People just know me for the hyphy records, and I
Right.
blew up off those. But I'm back from Field Effect all on. I make Can't Breathe, and like this has been me.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, that song is like, it's funny, I was talking to someone and it was like, man, you know, you talked about that, but we needed a song about the other things that's going on in the world and why the world's like this. And I was like, did you listen to the song?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, no, I just seen the clip. I said, well, maybe you should go listen to the song.
Yeah.
Because everything you saying is exactly what this song is about. This song ain't about them.
Right.
But you got to go listen to the song. But I also understand, like, context. And we live in a clip culture. So people are only... I thought people would dive deeper than the clip. You know, because with everything else I do, if I post a clip, it leads people to the source. If I give them a drop of water, they go to the source. When I post the Pittsburgh clip, they go watch the Pittsburgh video.
Right.
When I post the clip of me and Marshawn, they go watch the whole video. But for this one,
Yeah, they just took
decided,
the clip. Yeah.
hey, I'm just going to watch the clip, and I'm going to judge you off the clip. And that's cool, too. You know,
Yeah.
it's understand. It's a lesson. It's like, oh, okay, I get that, too. But the song is so much bigger than that moment in that clip.
Yeah.
And even that moment in that clip is powerful because it shows how, like, people respond to what they believe you said and believe you meant. Not what you said or what you meant. Like, we start seeing context that was far from anything I said. It was like, I didn't say all that shit.
Yeah.
You feel me? But that's what gets rolled with. You feel me? In this clip context and culture, like, people just take the bite size and they like, that's the meal.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing that's unfortunate because, you know, everybody's grabbing. Now you have all the, like, I saw so many people talking. I'm like, none of these cats is theologians. Half these cats probably haven't even opened up a book that said God had the name God in it. And now everybody knows what heaven sent me. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just so funny, right? But it becomes something where everybody, they're going to make money off their reels. And so they don't really care about the person.
Yeah.
Right? They don't care about the person. And one of the things that I remember watching it and I was like, I knew what you were saying. Were you trying to? Were you trying to? Yeah, ruffle the feather. I think you were. But the whole point is that this God that you say, you know, the God that's there, he made that terrible person. That was made, you know, because if it,
No, he didn't make that terrible person.
yeah,
he made that person who became terrible.
Yeah. Thank you. So those are LaRussell's words. Now you get to, this is the first time people get to hear what he really, you know, feels about it. But it's true, right? And so, but it was just interesting. But the main thing that caught me was when you said the engineer don't do it, said not to do it. And when I just asked you a second ago, you said, well, Tieta vetted this. So as a leader, you know, you were a leader and you're leading this movement. Do you think that was acted out in pride in the moment when you decided to do it, or was it just that you were like, no, I just thought I should do it? Do you think that was a prideful moment? And whether it was or wasn't, how was your leadership changed from that moment to how you move now with your crew and the people that you entrust to?
No, I don't think it was prideful. Like, that conversation with my engineer was far before that clip even went out.
Right.
Like, this is an album that I made months ago.
Yeah.
The music is being done. We just happened to do a show and I'm performing the music. And then that clip came, and as I'm going through, I'm like, oh, this is the one. This is when he was like, hey, bro, don't do that. You feel me? And I thought it was great context to what I was saying, because it made someone feel like this may be too much for the world. And I think that that's a beautiful thing, to make a piece of art where someone's like, this may be too much for the world. I don't know if you should do it. I'm not someone who, I don't withhold my art out of fear or whatever judgment I may get. You know, like, if what I feel like I'm saying needs to be said and needs to be heard, that's what it is. And the crazy thing about this, before that clip even go out, I went to go play pickleball one day. and a lady walks up to me and she's like, "I listened to this album. This album has been out before the clip.
What album is this?
This wasn't new. Father God Guide Me.
Okay,
it's been out.
Yeah.
It's been out. You feel me? It's been out way before this." And the lady comes up to me and she's like, "Man, I sat and listened to this project and it was so beautiful. Like she listened to the whole album and." The people in the show, no one took that moment and was like, "I can't believe this."
Right.
No one who's been consuming the music, who knows me, who believes it. It was all new people who like, "I don't know what he in, I don't know what he on. This is all the context I have." You know, we learned something from that of like, you know, every impression is the first impression for someone. So for someone, that was their first impression of me. And if they don't have the understanding, they like, "Nah, I don't rock with that." And that's cool too. That's okay. You know, I don't expect everyone to agree with me. Everyone doesn't have to. And that's something I learned from that too. Like, I could sit here and say something and you may not get it.
Yeah.
You may not get it how I said it. And it's not a means for war, at least for me. But at that time it was, because it's like, like, you know, like you got to be in a certain space to receive people to start name calling you and doing all these other things because they don't understand you. So they build this narrative and this picture and this depiction of you. You know, you got to be in a certain space to receive that and just be okay with it.
You know, before off camera, I was telling you about an album that I was really listening to. It was How Much Does Peace of Mind Cost? I've been listening to that all week leading up to this for some reason, because number one, that's my favorite, like, totality album that you made. That's my favorite one from top to bottom. And I'm kind of like that kind of person where there could be a lot of hip hop artists, and then their introspective songs touch me more, right?
Yeah.
Like when Jay-Z, one of my favorite Jay-Z songs is called Meet the Parents. And I just love when they get really deep introspective. It's not all like the party and the crystal and the bottles. But how much does Peace of Mind cost? From the time you made that album, that was 23 or 22, I believe. So now you've garnered way more success since then. Do you feel the same way about the words that you used in that album then to now? Has that changed? Has the perspective changed?
Back then, I was searching for something I thought I could find in the world that you can only find in yourself, which is why it was like, how much does a peace of mind cost? I'm paying whatever. I write it off, you know, because you think that you could buy it. You think that being able to take care of your family and your people and buy your kids whatever they want and renovate your houses and buy and build in, you think that all of that is what gets you there. And I was searching for it in the world. Like, how much do I got to spend and how much do I got to win to find peace? And it's not out there. It's nowhere there, you know. And the answer to that now is like, it's priceless. There's no cost to a peace of mind. You feel me? Because you could have none of that stuff and still have a peace of mind because it's within you. And you could have everything and not have any peace of mind.
Yeah, one of the lines, and I'm probably messing it up, but you said how you worked so hard to get here, and now you wish you could just get off work.
Yeah.
Like you were reminiscing about the days when you had to get up and go work at the warehouse and then just get off and come home because you didn't have all the stuff you have now. So, it's so interesting because I think in life it seems like everyone is chasing that thing, right? And then when everyone gets it, whoever has achieved it, they all have the same story every time.
Yeah.
That's not where the joy is. For someone who is going after their dreams or their goals or whatever it might be, and they haven't achieved like that status or that thing, what would you do differently, or how would you advise someone to do differently to have that peace of mind even while in pursuit? Because if getting that doesn't bring the peace or the joy, then can you have that in pursuit beforehand, before you attain the thing, or should we set the boundary marker different? Like what is that for? How do you see that?
I don't believe that this is true for everyone.
Okay.
And I'm a firm believer in you have to go to know. You can't tell me something, that you ain't experienced or been through. You got to go to know. So some of us have to go all the way to find out, like, that's not where it is for me. And some don't, and I think it's based on your individual, what you have to do. There's a lot of peace I have found through being successful and meeting my needs and having the means to like I left social media and just was able to be home for months and not worry about, like, man, I need to go find a job. I need to do,
Yeah.
that's a piece that's granted through my success, through me going. So I do think you have to go to know. And some people will go and get there and be like, this ain't it for me. I'm still unfulfilled. But some people will get there and they're like, man, this is all I needed. All I needed was the freedom to be able to do all this and see it for what it is, So I think it's based on the individual. It's no one way.
Right. When you were off social media for a few months, like, what were you doing? Did you kind of step back from everything for a while, or were you just still working but in silence? Like, were you, were you hiking? Was you doing?
I was definitely working. I was definitely working. We were still making music and cooking and dreaming, but I wasn't working as adamantly as I'm used to working. I was really doing a lot more living. I was pickleballing. I was hiking. I was walking. I was with my kids. I was just lifing, like experiencing just life without the pursuit of something or chasing something, which I haven't done in a really long time, since 28, since my first album. I've been after it. So 2018 to 2026, I've been after it, and I've amassed so much in those 8 years, and those 8 years was without me even taking like a break of and realizing, like, hey, look how much everything changed. Look at what life is now. Look at how it feel. I got to a point where I love walking. Like, I love walking, riding my bike. And I got to a point where, like, I couldn't even enjoy that because I was famous. And I didn't like how it felt to just, everywhere I go, I have to respond to someone or something or say hello. It was bothering me, just my own success. I was bothered by my own success. And it took me, I had to take a moment to step back and remember to be grateful. Like, that was something I asked for once, like not in this particular way. I ain't asked for people to stop me, but in the midst of you, like, I want everyone to know my name and what I'm doing. That's what comes with that.
Yeah. So it kind of gave you an unexpected vacation, huh?
It gave me a very necessary vacation.
Yeah. Did you travel? Did you go anywhere at that time?
I didn't. You didn't? I just stayed home.
Have you left America?
That was just Canada.
Just Canada?
Yeah,
So you never been to, like, Europe, Africa, nothing?
Nope.
Oh, man.
But I stayed home. I spent so much these past few years on the go. I'm torn. I'm doing show. I was always on the go. I was always on a plane. So I got to stay home and just be there in my community, and I live at home. So I'm always in my community doing things and helping people out and doing it. But I never just got to sit for a while,
On the mental health side of that aspect, when people face, and we'll move after this question from that whole situation, but just from the mental health aspect, how did you deal with that moment? Was there therapy, or was it just your close ones, that 1% circle? How was that for you mentally, just as an artist? Because you are a beloved figure here in the Bay. Like, it's like when you see LaRussell, like, hey, like, people want to see you. And I wouldn't know this because it's not like I want an autograph. It's just like, your energy. You always put out that positivity. And so for something so negative to come your way, like, how did that rock you, and how did you deal with that on the mental health side?
Man, that's why I was doing a lot of biking and hiking and pickleballing, to just kind of like keep my mind in a state where I could process everything. Because it is a lot to deal with, which is why I decided to leave social media, because I was like, I didn't have the capacity to deal with it all in a way that I felt good about. Like, it was making me a nasty person. Like, I was I was going back to what I know. You call me something, I'm gonna call you something.
Yeah, you talk about my mom,
I'm gonna sock you. You feel me? Like, we just gonna go at it.
Yeah.
And that wasn't what I wanted for myself. Like, I'm not on that shit no more. I'm an adult. You feel me? So it was like, all right, let me just leave this space
Yeah.
You know, sometimes that's the greatest decision you can make is just to leave. Because I know if I'm here, we just gonna go back and forth. Because I don't have the capacity or the I don't have what I need in myself right now to deal with the challenge ahead of me. So let me go get right and rebuild, and then I'll come visit it when I'm ready.
All right.
You feel me? And yeah, it was just a process these past few months of like rebuilding myself and my perspective and how I feel, and getting to a state where it's like, okay, what is my wrongs? Where was I right? Where was I incorrect? What should I have done better? What did I do great? What did I not do great? You know, and finding all these things and having to look at the whole picture and be like, okay, I can grasp it.
Yeah.
And when you get to that point, sometimes it's not always a solution of like, you're wrong, I'm right, I'm wrong. Anyway, it's just like, this is just what the situation is. This how we will handle it next time. Leave that where it is.
Okay. So, does LaRussell have a girlfriend?
Do I have a girlfriend? Why do you want to know if I
what's your
got
love,
a girlfriend?
What's your love like, man? What do you? The world wants to know, man. They want to know, man.
No, they don't.
Yes,
Nigga,
they do.
you want to know.
I want to know this. This for them, man.
I have a really special person in my life.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna leave it at that. Cool. I just wanted to know. Just ask. You know what I mean? Inquiring minds, man. So you had the Super Bowl. How was that Super Bowl performance for you? I mean, of course, we all saw it from the outside, but what did that mean to you? And even putting that together, something as elaborate as a halftime show. I mean, you didn't even do the halftime show, but what was that like for you doing the Super Bowl? And then even at that same time, you had the Rock Nation deal that came through. Give us a little bit of introspective about the Super Bowl show, and then what is your relationship with Rock Nation at this point?
Super Bowl was really cool because it's something that the year prior, I think after I had watched Kendrick's, I had tweeted, I was like, I'm finna do the Super Bowl in 2026, you know, just kind of putting it into space. And as the time went on and approached, the conversation started getting more and more serious, and we got connected with the NFL, and we started having meetings, and I just kind of started campaigning for it. I didn't know what my role or position would be. You know, I knew I wasn't doing no halftime show, but I was like, I'm gonna do something. This in the Bay Area, you know, I'm gonna do something. So we start campaigning, and I went and got with Pittsburgh High and shot some videos, and I was just really heavy on like, we doing Super Bowl. It's here. I'm finna be a part of it. And as it came and it got closer, you know, the NFL hit us and was like, we don't really have a position, you know. We don't have no budget. We didn't work this out. This ain't something we was thinking of doing, but we finna figure out how we can. And they came back and was like, we've never done a house band, you know. Would you guys be open to doing that? And we proposed a few things, and that's where we landed. And then I think probably about a week prior, they came back and was like, yo, and we got a spot for you at the tailgate. We want you to open before the Super Bowl. So it ended up just being a really great moment. But, man, we really sold it. We went to the NFL office in L.A. and told them what we about and did a little performance. And they got to really just know us and why it was important for if they were going to come to the region to have regional representation.
Right.
You know, that was the big thing for me. Like, if we're going to be in the Bay, let us highlight our music and some of our people too, so we feel a part of this, and it's not just something like you coming into our home and extracting, you actually giving back to it too. You know. And the Rock Nation, we've been talking to Rock Nation probably for about the past year, just off and on. You know, and we start growing a really, really good relationship and rapport. So it just all, the timing was all aligning, and they didn't even know I was doing the Super Bowl stuff. These were separate conversations.
Oh, they didn't know that. Oh, okay, okay.
Like Rock Nation does a halftime show, but they don't.
Yeah, I figured they would have known
because
they do that.
NFL's business. Besides that, so it was something that just aligned. It all just started coming together at the right time. You know, and we were pushing the album. We was coming out of Super Bowl, going into the Lil Jon album. We sold 30,000 copies. It was just like we was in that zone. I was in that space and on that.
That Lil Jon
run.
album sold 30,000. That's what I'm talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk more off mic. No, no, that's dope. So like, because you had that moment with Jay-Z a few years ago about the contract thing.
Yep.
And so, two things about that I love. I love that you read your contract. Because everybody in hip hop say, man, we have a million conversations about bad record deals. And then people get into it. People as big as Kanye trying to get out of deals and stuff, even when they're already successful, still signing bad deals.
Yeah.
What? How did that conversation with him go? That somebody would think like the nerve of you to, you know what I mean? Like, like nah, I ain't doing that. You didn't give me. I need to go talk to the head man. How did that conversation go when you guys finally linked and had that one-on-one conversation and just and to bring you on to the family with Rock Nation? How did that go? Just the mending from the making the statement to actually becoming part of the team.
I think there's always room for progress and reconciliation, in any form of life. Like if I held you to who you were when you did this years ago, then it never allows me the chance to like meet the version of you that you are here. And if we did that to people, it's like, man, that's why like so many of us, like, we got this tension with our parents because it's like, well, I experienced this as a child, so now as an adult we can't move forward and we still got these problems. And it's like, bro, these are different. I'm a different person than I was when I got that contract back then.
Yeah.
So was he.
Yeah.
He had to learn his woes and his lessons, and same with me. It's like we in different positions and we feel differently about where we at and what each other do. He had to rebuild some stuff. I had to rebuild some stuff.
Right.
You feel me? So I don't think that it was ever a space where it's like we can't have a conversation. And once a conversation can be had, and it's like, I feel that.
Yeah.
I get you, you get what I'm on. It's as simple as that. I think that there's always room. And anytime somebody... Hove was always in a position where he was giving me an opportunity with that deal, with that contract back then. You feel me? No matter where I was at my journey, it's like, nigga, he made it. He was done. This, no matter what, it was like, this is me trying to assist. It may not be in the way that's helpful to you, but this is the way I can help.
Right.
And that at that time is like, this ain't helpful to me. That's okay. And this time is like, hey, I got more resources. Can I extend them to you?
Yeah.
It's up to me to be like, yeah, this is valuable to me. Yeah, this isn't. But no matter what, it was his resource that he was extending.
Yeah. You always hear all these conversations with people like, oh, they didn't see all the work you put in. All of a sudden, it's Illuminati now because Jay-Z in front of you. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That you wasn't, I remember the first backyard show I ever went to. And I think your daddy was out there cooking, and your mama's helping, and this is before you built the stage and everything. You know what I mean? And so now it's like, now you a Rock Nation. Now, it's a blood sacrifice had to happen.
Right.
Like, no, you didn't see the work got put in, right? And so that's just funny to me how people, how we do that. I probably did that when I was young.
And you know what's crazy? I had a call with someone. We had a really extended convo about all this, and on the phone they were saying like, man, like, really, I just felt the way because I thought we lost you. And I was explaining to them, like, for anyone to feel like that and then go online and try to tarnish me or disparage me or make comments and do all this when I'm going through anything, it's crazy because I'm the one nigga who, like, we've seen go from here to here and stay constant. Like, I'm me still. I'm the same person. So if you know that, you know how much harder it is to go through everything I'm going through as me, as the nigga who I'm still in my neighborhood, still showing up as me. And now I got to deal with this shit that most of us who come from where we come from never even have to experience and encounter. But I'm still me. I'm still on my bike outside. Hey, I'm still with the little homie. I'm still me. Having to go through all this. And now it's like the world's attacking me too. Yeah. And I'm me still. Yeah. You feel me? Like it's sometimes I think people forget when we become trending topics, they forget that it's a human. You feel me? It's like, I'm not a trending topic. I'm a human. I'm a real person over here that you going to see outside and run into. Yeah. And now I'm that person experiencing all this bullshit that's conjured by a bunch of people who really have no care, regard for what I've done and who I am and what I've built. They just want to touch on the topic and be funny and make their little jokes. And it's like, man, it's a real human on the other end of that. And when I'm on the opposite end, that's just not me. That's not how I get down.
Right,
You can
right,
go
yeah.
through something right
Yeah,
now
I'm
online
not-
and
I'm
everybody
not Twitter
talking
fingers,
about it,
yeah.
and the one person you're not gonna see in there adding to it is me. Like I'm, and I've had that phase of my journey where it's like, yeah, I was vibrating low and I was inputting on this and that, but that's not where I'm at with it.
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing. Like, you know, it's interesting how, you know, everybody's life and their journey and their path shapes them differently, right? And even though what you really understand is that people, just because they're not famous, they're the things that shape them and how we respond to them are happening to us in everyday life as well. Even if you get up and have a 9 to 5 every day, family, kids, wife, you know, whatever, you know what I mean? And you can respond to that as an everyday person in a negative way, but
Yeah.
nobody sees it because you're not online, you're not famous. You know what I mean?
Right,
And then they'll
right.
be the same person to jump online.
Oh, my
And it'd be
God.
like, oh, you such and such and such. But like, no, you were a piece
And
of
you
shit.
know-
in your, but nobody knows you, right?
The fucked up part about all that is like you can't even use it or weaponize it. You know, like I remember during the phase, during all that, people was like, "Oh, he's doing whataboutism." I didn't even know what the hell whataboutism was. I've never heard the term, so this was a new thing. But I guess when you dealing with something, you don't have the right to be like, "Bro, I know you in your real life, and I've seen what you own and who you are. You have no place to be judging me."
Yeah.
But you can't do that because
Yeah.
that's whataboutism. But
Yeah.
that's the reality of it. You know, it's like we don't. And that's why you got to get really, really firm in who you are too, because it'll lead you down that path. Because I start seeing stuff in people that's like, bro, you should remove yourself from this conversation and the judgment. Because if we get to start doing that, it don't add up.
Yeah.
It don't look right.
Yeah.
You not own nothing to be making these judgments about anyone. You feel me?
Yeah.
But you can't even get in that space of it, because then it just conjure and create more resentment and energy within you, even though you know. But that's why it's really important to, like, if it's not someone that you are inspired by or see something in or want to be like, to take that criticism with a grain. It's like, you don't move me. You know, I don't see you as a parent and I'm inspired. I don't see you as a human and I'm inspired. I don't see you as a friend. I don't see you doing anything in the world that makes me be like, man, this person's input is really, really valuable to me. I should accept it. It's people that's like,
Yeah.
I see the post.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could look on the page and see what you want. You feel me? It's
Yeah.
like they're just adding to the pot, and then
Yeah.
they get off their phone, they go back in their real life,
back
and
in
it's
real
like,
life.
bro, that's not reflective of the person you being right now online, you know?
Yeah.
But that's the reality, and that will come with it. And some people just want to be a part of the convo so bad that they do it.
Yeah, yeah. I think what's kind of separated, especially you as an artist, is that you really are like authentically who you are when the camera is off. Then when you're on, right? Like your hair, you know, people be like, hey, you come in, you pull up, like you just dress it. I'm not knocking. I'm just saying,
my
you know,
beard,
you just your beard.
yeah.
I ain't gonna lie though, because I used to be like watching. I'll be like, man, who is Barber? Who is your barber, man?
and that be the niggas who got bigger issues.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's true.
If you see Obama win the presidency race, and it's like, man, we got the first ever black president,
you talking about who his
and you
barber?
like, man, what's up with his haircut? It's like, bro, go
Yeah.
have a seat. You're not even on what we on.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
not even on what we on.
I feel it. No, I feel it. No, but it's just funny because but it separates itself because a lot of people, especially in not just music, but just entertainment, a lot of it is facade, and then then it's totally different when the cameras are off. So I think that I feel like there's been maybe they couldn't wait for this moment kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you were too authentic. And they're like, there's no chink. What can we attack?
Yeah.
He's really like this. You know what I mean? Like, this is not like, so these people came for you in that moment, to make it because they were excited. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we finally got something. You know what I mean? We finally can.
And that's the thing, those moments be so small that when you big picture, and it's like, okay, we did all of this because he said everyone came from God. That is the synopsis of what this is all about.
Yeah.
Remove the dialect and the verbiage and, well, you said this and you didn't use it this way. This is because someone said everybody came from God.
Yeah.
That's what all of this is.
Yeah.
Like, this hip hop.
Yeah.
The fact that niggas like, well, in the Bible, bro, this is rap. What are you talking about? What are you talking? Since when?
Yeah.
Like, when did we start doing that with rap?
Mm-hmm.
Well, technically, it's politically incorrect. This is rap.
Mm-hmm. It's never been politically correct.
It had nothing to do with none of that.
We would have never got straight out of Compton. We would have got.
I left it so small that it was like, oh, we taking this one on one.
Mm-hmm.
And then what?
Mm-hmm.
And then what? Like, after we do all that, because someone said everyone came from God, and we haven't said, after we do all that, then what?
Mm-hmm.
We go back to our regular lives, and we got the same president. We got the same issues. What did we achieve and accomplish?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. It was like, what was done?
Yeah. That's just the new internet. That's the internet age. You know, that's really, it's, I always say it's mob rule. There's there's an old story in the Bible, where this man, he came to the house, and a bunch of people came. Matter of fact, it's the Sodom and Gomorrah story. And they came and they were banging on the door, and they were like, bring him out. We want to have sex with him.
Right.
The mob, this is in the Bible. They were banging on the door and say, come outside, because the mob. So there's always in history, there's always like this mob mentality, and it comes in waves, right? It comes in waves and people, and you just got to be able to withstand the storm. And, but I want to say, first of all, like I love what you did by just separating yourself from social media for a while. That was a good thing, because if you ain't right, ain't nothing else gonna be right. You know what I mean? Yeah. And nobody cares about you. Yeah. Nobody really cares about you. You know what I mean? Everybody, they're that 90%. If they're not that 1%, they're not the Tietas and the other folks that probably be in that house every day with you. They don't really care whether you succeed, or they be ready to write an article about you when you fall off, because they can't wait for that. Because it's gonna give them more spins. You know what I mean? And so
what's crazy? That story you said real quick.
Yeah.
I was watching Passion of Christ.
Uh-huh.
That's one of my favorite movies, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, man, I gotta watch Passion of Christ, right? And there's this part where, they take him to the emperor, and they're like, you need to do something with him. You need to jail him. We want to kill him.
Yeah.
And the emperor told his wife, he's like, I don't see nothing wrong with this man. He asked his wife, he said, can you hear truth? And his wife was like, if you don't know truth, then no one can tell it to you. And they came outside the next day, and he said, okay, I have this murderer and rapist here who I could keep and kill, or I could take this guy that I see no fault to him, but you guys have a problem with him saying that he's a king.
They said, give us Barabbas.
But I see, and they said, give us the murderer and the rapist.
Give us Barabbas.
Give us the murderer.
That's his name.
Let him go free.
Yeah, let him go
free. Put him back into the community. Let him free. Uh-huh. We want the nigga we don't like.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was it made me laugh and smile, because it was like, that's literally what this shit is. That's what this society is. That's where we've gotten.
Yeah.
Give us all the murder rap, all the rape talk. Give us the drug, the shoot 'em. Give us all that. Get this nigga out of here. We not trying to hear no shit about niggas is heaven sent, they came from God. Get these niggas out of here. You feel me? That's what we own, and it's a very, very clear depiction. And sometimes that's just where you get to in society, and you need a reset. We want this more than we want this because of how we feel about what happened. You know, and you can't. That's also a beauty of art. Like, if you can make somebody feel anything, your art is doing its job. It's supposed to move you. It might not move you positively, it might not move you negatively, but it moved you because it was powerful.
That was good. That's deep. What's next for LaRussell? Had a lot going on. You're back outside. You're doing the pop-ups. What's next? When does the album come in? What does it look like? Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you. You did the what made you do the America's Got Talent? Because most people go on that show to get discovered. Yeah, you're already kind of here. You know what I mean? So how did that come about, and what inspired you to do that? That was an interesting move, I say.
It actually came initially through our harpist Geo, one of the homies. They had reached out to her
Okay.
and seen what she was doing and found the
I
backyard.
love her
And
music too. She dope. Yeah.
Shout out Geo.
And your guy Michael, the
violin.
the violin. Yeah, man, I love that.
But they
dude,
found
man.
the backyard and everything through there, and then they tapped in directly and was like, "Yo, this is special. You know, we want to highlight it. We want to give it a chance to be seen and heard." And you know, we went through our initial phases too, because that's how we looked at it. We like, you know, America's Got Talents for people who trying to make it. We already made it. That's not a space I want to like take away from someone. But it also like, man, this is national television, and what you're doing is important and special. We want to utilize this to highlight that too. You know, we can't guarantee nothing, but we think that you should take the shot as well. You know, me and the team discussed it, and we like, bro, I made it, but I have 20, 30 people who come along with me who haven't had the same level of success, you know, that they get to deserve that spotlight and those shots too. So it was something that we was able to really share with the community. You know, I didn't just go on that stage by myself.
Right.
I brought a whole village of people
Yeah.
who may have never got that chance.
That was dope. That was dope. So what is next? What's coming out? You got an album coming soon, or what you doing, man? You got some?
Yeah. I got a lot coming.
Are you gonna take the show on the road, or are you still just gonna stick to the backyard stuff, or like is it? Well, I guess what I'm asking is, are we planning to see more growth? Is there gonna be a bigger version of LaRussell moving forward, or are you still kind of on the same? Not minimizing the same. If you stay the same, you still winning. But I'm just saying, what does that look like?
I don't know if I'm gonna go back to running how I was running, but it is gonna get bigger, but in a way that fits what I want for myself. Like I don't have the same desire I had to be where I thought I wanted to be before all of this. Like, it just ain't. That's not what I want for myself. But it will continue to grow and expand, and you know, you're gonna see, but in ways that just work for me and feel good to me. Like I'm not trying to go win the world no more.
Yeah. I kind of understand why Kendrick Lamar moved the way he moved. He pop out, do his thing,
Man,
clean the whole field up, and then go back inside.
You get exactly.
Yeah, he don't see him, and then everybody.
You get it.
Yeah, everybody's complaining. Oh, we don't see you 3-4 years,
but his community see him.
Yeah,
you know?
no, that's true.
He outside. It's just we're not.
But I'm saying as far as the media and the
Exactly.
parties and the hype and all that, yeah. But I respect more now why he get down the way he get down too. You know, because I can understand that anxiety of just always having to be all the time present.
And we just got into the state where, like, you know, the world, they want to pick you apart. No matter how much greatness you're doing, from Obama all the way down, it's like that's their goal, is to find something to pick you apart about. And everybody, like, that's not why we do this. You feel me? Like, we're not in it for that, you know? And I had to reframe my mind of what I wanted, and, okay, what does attention feel like? What am I after? You feel me? And that's just not what I'm after. I'm here to change the world and do bigger things and really change lives, and that's what I do.
Yeah. So you know, you work with a lot of artists in the Bay or whatever. Are there any artists that you haven't worked with that you want in the future that you just want to do records with or build with?
Charlie Wilson.
Okay.
I need Uncle Charlie in the
Uncle
backyard.
Charlie. Okay.
Yep.
Ooh. If you get Charlie Wilson in the backyard, please, you got.
I'm gonna get Charlie Wilson
when
in
you
the
get
backyard.
in the backyard, man, I gotta be at that. I gotta be at that. Is there anything you want to let the world know? Is there anything you want to say? This is your first coming out party in a while. What do you just any last words you want to leave with the people?
Not really. You know, the people who get it, and the people who don't might never. And they may at some other point, you know, but it ain't, there's no truth you could tell to someone who can't hear the truth. It's as simple as that. And the people who have determined they love me, and the people who have determined they don't. And I'm great with both sides of that.
LaRussell.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming on to the show. You don't know how much it means to me. I've spoke it up.
Fire.
Just like how you spoke up Charlie Wilson. I was telling my wife, I'm going to get LaRussell telling my guy. So it made it happen, man. I appreciate you. Thank you, Tieta. You guys are beautiful people. I know you guys, you know, I'm not acting like we best friends, but I've met you guys several times, ran into you in several places. You guys are always the same. You're killing it in real ones, man. So meet me in Napa. We'll see you on the next episode.
You heard.